Hi, Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest does not get enough hype, and I want to talk about it. So here's one of my favorite scenes from that movie that I think perfectly encapsulates why it's such a fucking interesting sequel.
Turns out not even Jack Sparrow confessed to the devil. Open the chest.
Pretty good, right? Pretty funny. What does that have to do with being a good sequel? Well, one of the main things that people think about when making a sequel is how do we up the ante? How do we raise the stakes and create that feeling of suspense even though we already know what these characters can handle? That's usually done by amplifying the villain, either by making them more powerful or just having more of them. And Dead Man's Chest does both these things. Whereas the first movie had two villains, boring and by the book Commodore Norrington, and supernatural pirate Captain Barbossa, this movie had three villains: Colonel Beckett, who is somehow even more bureaucratic and annoying, Davy Jones, who's an even more powerful supernatural pirate captain, and still Norrington, who's now an upset pirate man. So they could have been done there. They could have said that's enough to raise the stakes, but they didn't. They went a little bit further. In order to truly make this more challenging, they changed the relationship each of the villains has with Jack Sparrow. While Jack is not the main character of these two films, he is doing most of the scheming, so it's worth paying attention to him. But anyway, in the first film, Jack succeeds consistently because both Norrington and Barbossa underestimate him. Which is summed up for Norrington in the classic "you must be the worst pirate I've ever heard of" scene. Barbossa thinks so little of Jack that after being genuinely shocked that he got off the island he marooned him on last time, he marooned him on the same island and was still shocked to see him again. He already did that once, dude! But in Dead Man's Chest, they remove that safety net. Because not only do Beckett, Davy Jones, and now Norrington have history with Jack, they know the kind of man he is and the scams he likes to pull. They refuse to underestimate him. If anything, they overestimate him. We are introduced to Davy Jones literally saying that Jack Sparrow is worth 100 men. Now, that might be a reference to part of his origin that we'll learn about in the next movie, but at the moment, it just looks like Davy holds him in incredibly high esteem. And as we can see from scenes like that, he does! That scene comes right after Captain Jack Sparrow fucking dies. The Kraken eats him, and Davy Jones hears one of his own guys be like, "Looks like even he can't beat the devil," and thinks to himself, that doesn't sound fucking right. He realizes that he may have been scammed after all, and goes to check on his heart. Here's the fucking thing though. Jack Sparrow loses in Dead Man's Chest. He is on the back foot the entire movie simply because they will not underestimate him, so he doesn't have the wiggle room he's used to. Unlike in the first film, where he's able to turn both Norrington and Barbossa against each other and prevail, in this one he doesn't have the heart. Davy Jones is overestimating him. He didn't win. Norrington also knows him, also knows that he's more clever than he seems, and also knows to expect a scam or a double cross, is able to account for that, preempt it, and get the heart for himself. And all of those character relationships come to a perfect meeting point at the end of the film, where Norrington delivers the heart to Beckett, meaning they essentially own Davy Jones. So unlike in the first movie, where Jack is able to set his two pursuers against each other, in this one, he inadvertently causes all three of them to join forces, which is the problem he's going to have to face in the next one. Guys, this trilogy was my childhood, and I'm tired of people telling me it's bad. I like them!